What up, boys? Son Dad. We're looking at King's Rest today in our series of why Outlaw is super busted. And yesterday we got a 23 King's Rest done in time. We were like an hour or two of US first, or an hour or two short of US first, but we have the US rank one time. So we're going to use this, and we're going to walk through King's Rest and actually show you some of the polls instead of just looking at MDT as we go. So let's get into it, bro. So right off the bat, you're going to see, I forget if me or Flawless shrouded here. I think I shrouded. Shroud, obviously, is super good for this first spot. You distract these boys, and then you can get as close as you want, and they won't kill you, or they won't fear you. That's important. During the distract, you won't get feared by those guys. So like I see a lot of people just try to speed by them, or distract, and then they get nervous, and then because they get nervous, they wait, and then the distract fades, and then they get feared. So just distract and blast, and you'll get through there. Also, these animated guardians, some pull paths can include them. I don't think they're inherently bad to pull, either 2 or 4 of them. Our pull path just didn't include them. I think they're slightly suboptimal, just because there's not really much else you can skip later. Not that they're like bad mobs, it's just like King's Rest is such a straightforward dungeon that there's not much else you can skip. So I didn't do this part, but we'll talk about it when Flawless goes to do it. Let me see if I turn and look at them. I do. Okay. So over here, when all these mobs spawn, was it 6? Yeah, 6 of the little fear boys spawn right in this area on the other side of this square thing in the middle. Rogues can actually do this without Arcane Torrent. So normally you have to dispel those mobs, and Flawless does use Torrent to dispel them. But we found out at a necessity during MDI, because we were all playing Alliance on Tournament Realm and didn't have Arcane Torrents, that you could just run through them with Cloak Up. And that will work as well. So you don't need Torrent. If you have Torrent, great. And as long as you have Cloak Up when you run through them, the mobs will just disappear. Like, they just die. Once the shield is pulled off them, they die. So you either dispel it with Torrent or walk through them with Cloak, and for whatever reason, I think it's because it technically they fear you, and when they fear you, they're dead, but you have Cloak Up, so you don't get feared by them, and that's how the interaction works. And then you vanish when you're done, so that these pulls, or these mobs, don't kill you. Rogue's the only class that's able to take care of those over there without having to pull those mobs. The rest of this room is pretty standard. There's not anything like crazy unique that Rogue does. Short kick cooldown like every melee, so it's good on the Witch Doctors. Champions, there's not really much. Since champions can't be stunned, and the Witch Doctors can't be stunned, you can throw between the eyes onto the warriors when you're feeling like it. And the increased melee range helps with tornadoes, though I eat a lot of tornadoes in this run, so we're going to skip this. The rest of the pulls in here are exactly the same mobs. There's nothing really unique that anybody does, and that's kind of the theme for King's Rest in general. There's like a few little things that certain classes can do. Rogue is typically one of them. And the rest, this is just like a play good dungeon. You just have to play good to do King's Rest. And that's that. Is the last pack? Yeah. Okay, so then we have the boss coming up, and this is probably, this boss and the third boss are like the hardest parts of the dungeon. So you always want to be playing for whatever is going to cause you to not finish the dungeon, right? Like, your build for the dungeon should be based around how do we complete it, and if something is going to be a roadblock, then you play for that. So as you can see, I run elusiveness in King's Rest. Managing spit golds is the most important thing you can do. You'll see here, I get the first one, I'm pretty sure. And we see on daddy, so I pre-cloak debuff doesn't go out. And really that lets, it's both good. There's like two schools of thought. One, it's we're in lust, so there's no way I'm dying. I should not cloak because the healer can definitely keep me up. But then the other school of thought is we're in lust. I should cloak so that one, I can do way more damage without having to run out, and two, the healer can do way more damage without running out. I think the cloak early and often is the right play, but that's like up for debate. Let's go. There's a later one that I think there's one that it's like right before my next cloak comes up. I get one. We'll show. Oh, I cloaked again already. Because there's not too much more to this boss, but I do want to show like the interactions and how you can use Blade Flurry to super plow. Okay. So these ads are going to spawn. And Outlaw gains single target damage for Blade Flurrying, and these things have so little health that you just own them. And now you gain wit stacks, and your boss damage goes through the roof. So you don't really need to drop them far if you have an Outlaw Rogue in your group, because usually they can handle them all coming in. Because they don't have very much health. Also something to note on this boss. You can... Well, we'll just let it play. You can vanish the Spit Gold. And depending on where the boss's spell queuing is, it won't recast. Now, I haven't figured out like the consistent timing of when you're safe to vanish, but it is typically right before you have to be watching his timers, and if Serpentine Gust is coming within like the next 2 seconds, if this is basically like this one would be an option to vanish and he might not recast. But it doesn't seem consistent at all. And it's dangerous to do that too, because Rogue with Elusiveness is probably the best class in the game at getting the Spit Gold debuff. Outside of maybe like DPS Death Knight. Like a Frost or Unholy Death Knight might be better than just Frost Strike themselves, or Death Strike heal themselves. But with Crimson Vial and Elusiveness Fate, rogues are extremely good at taking the debuff, so you don't really want to vanish and have it end up on your monk who's like out of shit, or giving your monk an extra debuff means he's probably going to end up out of shit later in the fight. But that's really it here. Abuse Blade Flurry, pre-cloak the shit when you see it cast on you, and own. And then we almost wipe here. This was like really close. Oh, perfect. I almost skipped right to it. Now we go into this trash. Outlaw just has the advantage of acrobatic strikes in this room, really. Which makes it so you can hit stuff from further away, because positioning is kind of difficult on a lot of these packs. Like this pack in particular, you want to be able to still kick Queen, but you want to be safe from the Blade Storm on King. And Acrobatic Strikes helps a lot with that. So you'll see, I think I get the first Blade Storm here. Yeah, almost kill JB as he's running in the room. That's fine. But you can just backwards walk and still hit him with Acrobatic Strikes, and then go from there. On the other lady, you just kick, use Arcane Torrents if you get MC'd and shit. This pack, there's nothing super special. Outlaw doesn't have a knock for the King unless you run Engineering and you have the belt. Which I do not have. This week I'm using Shield Belt. Just seems better. Guard Captain you can help with. You could LOS the Axe Barrage. We chose not to, and to just plow because it's not like super terrible to heal on Tyrannical Weeks. So Guard Captain can be stunned or gouged or whatever to delay. He won't ever stop casting it. Like he won't ever stop recasting. Here we go, Axe Barrage. But you can LOS it. So if you need to stun him to get your group out of LOS, if your healer can't handle the damage, then you do that. But nothing really big here at all. Next pack is the same, other than just having an extremely good damage profile for this pack of mobs. Ella doesn't do anything nuts, but really no class does. And this acrobatic strikes just carries this. Like you see, I'm hitting both mobs. That's actually wild when I look at that. All right, let me watch this jump again. I don't think there's any other class that has the ability, I guess, multi-daughters. But look at this. What the fuck? Alright, he's gonna jump away now. He gets knocked. And now I'm hitting both mobs. You can see the damage flying off this boy. Alright, yeah. So there's something Outlaw does. This guy, the Purification Construct, as we come down the hall, some groups choose to shroud and not kill, so Outlaw Rogue brings that utility if you do choose to shroud. We chose to kill him. Again, not because he's super efficient, but because there's not really better stuff to kill or better stuff to skip. This room, specifically on bursting, Rogue is super strong. You're going to watch, if you watch this, you're going to see at the end of this pack, Nerf, J-Funk, and JB all just leave. Because they're about to get a bazillion bursting stacks. So they just go outrange it all. And then Flawless and I both cloak and finish the pack. Oh, Jay stays in with Diffuse, I guess. Okay. Oh, no, that's Flawless. Never mind. And now there's only 3 left, so we tell him, hey, come hang out. You can finish. And that's that. Flawless runs to tag the boy over there. There's nothing really special about these packs at all. Other than just like Tricks of the Trade in general this week. It is Skittish week. But every week Tricks of the Trade is good. But that's just like a... It's like one of those things that's just good about Rogue that you don't even ever really bring up or remember. Yeah, these mobs are whatever. Now we pull the boss. Alright, we pull the boss. Increased range makes a big difference. I was actually really scared I was going to get owned there. Let's see. Drain Fluids on Flawless. Let's see if he vanishes it. Yep. Vanishes it off or cloaks it off. Now this depends. Your healer might have an easier time healing you than healing the tank. Typically, though, it's better for you to vanish or cloak that off if you can, so that it's just the tank taking damage. Or sometimes the tank needs, like, a break, like to recharge cooldowns or some shit if he's getting owned by the boss. So you should communicate about whether or not you should be cloaking / vanishing off the drain fluids, but typically it's the play. Oh, what the heck? That's a lot. What the heck? That just happened while I'm recording this. That's weird. But yeah, you vanish after the initial cast finishes. Keep that in mind. Other than that, there's nothing really big on this boss. Now this room, this hallway, is where Prey on the Weak carries. Like, super carries. We're killing Triangle, so we're going to own him. Spectral Bolts have to be kicked. Hexes have to be kicked, or they will recast. But you can delay. So, like, what I do here is I gouge him at the very end, so he just keeps doing that. And then I between the eyes him. Here, hold on. And I do this with Focus Gouge and Focus Between the Eyes. So you'll see my target never swaps, so I'm still doing damage to the kill target. But I'm going to make this guy cast Hex forever. So I kick one Spectral Bolt, so Moon comes in. I'm stunning Triangle off the bat to make him take bonus damage, and now I'm still hitting Triangle. But Moon is my control target, right? So Moon's casting Hex, that's my fat bar. He gets a Gouge. He gets it between the eyes, and then he just casts Hex forever, and then I get... Did I kick it? No, he dispelled it. So that meant this mob did nothing to the tank. Because the Hex Priests are like what own your tank. So always be looking for ways to keep mobs from being threatening. And then you see at the end of this pull also, I pop parry, and I'm the closest one to the Berserker, and I take the bleed. Right? Here we go. I parry, he targets me, I take the bleed, and I parry it. So you should be always tracking your parry cooldown in this hallway, and whenever you have parry up, you should be looking to burn it insta on taking a bleed from one of the Berserkers. And you just have to be the closest one, or the only one in melee range. If the tank's out of range, he'll target whoever, and go from there. Witch Doctor Brute Pack, there's nothing special Outlaw really does. This pack, you're just hyper mobile. Wait. And stuns on the Beastmaster help. Stuns on the Raptors help too. You'll see I switch targets a lot on this pack. And here I didn't have parry, accidentally took a bleed. I don't know what I was thinking and why. I think that I assumed he had cast more recently. But when you're running elusiveness like you always are in King's Rest, on High King's Rest, you can usually take a bleed and it's fine. Obviously it's not ideal, and it's better if you take one with parry. Here I didn't want to use the parry. I think Flawless had called that he was going to take it also. Or maybe J-Funk had called that his clones were in there, because Windwalker clones can take them as well. But anyways, the rest of the bridge is all more of the same. It's just delaying casts on Hex Priest, soaking parries on Berserker, or soaking bleeds on Berserkers, and then killing shit. Now we go to the fucking 6-minute boss of Zanzal the Wise and the rest of his boys. One thing to note, if you are attacking, so if you activate Blade Flurry on this boss, and you are targeting the boss, as you'll see here, I don't know why I did this. I think I just already had Blade Flurry up from the previous one, but anyways. If you target the boss, you will not flurry onto the totem. But if you target the totem, you will flurry onto the boss. So that's just the interaction, how that works. Maybe you won't. Maybe I'm dumb. Pretty sure you flurry onto the boss. Anyways. There's nothing really unique on this part of the fight that you do, other than having good damage for Explosive Totem. Alright. Butcher Lady. You're going to watch us here, so important thing to note, both Outlaw and Assassination, or Sub, can do this. But parry, when she casts her Severing Axe, if it's targeted on you, means that it will... You won't get the debuff if you pop parry. So you'll notice what we do is, the indicator, the targeting indicator, is like a millisecond to respond to when it shows up on the nameplate here for who she's targeting. So you'll notice we all spread out. And she does this every two, she'll cast 2 Whirling Axes and a Severing Axe. Then we all spread out. And now we're looking at where she's facing, because she turns and looks at who she's going to target. So you see I held parry there. I think I hold parry until like the 4th one, because we're all just paying close attention to if we need to burn our cooldown or not. We spread, she's going to cast it. Oh, it was that one. I wish I could zoom in. Like, it's hard to see on the VOD. But you'll see here, alright, so I'm going to run to the gate, and you'll see that she turns to look my way. Alright, next Whirling Axe she will cast. I thought it was later in the fight that I got one. I guess not. Oh no, it's not this one. Flawless gets that one. Now that I'm looking really closely. It's so hard to fucking see, man. Alright, one more Whirling Axe, then she'll sever. She's gonna sever here. We all spread. Not me. There's Whirling Axe number 1. But yeah, you can do this with Evasion and also Blade Dance as a Demon Hunter. And now I see, looks at me, yoink, parry, and we got it. But anyways, that's just a cool interaction on that fight. This boss, you can vanish the charge cast and he will recast, or you can parry and you will take no damage and can solo the barrel through. There's not really much. I don't think I get targeted with this at all. J-Funk got most of them, which is pretty good for us because J-Funk can solo as well. And you can solo every other. The monk can. But that's that. And I think we had a sick. I think I had a sick double parry here. Yeah, Flawless gets that one. I think they charge here, and I get a double. You can get both if they sync up. Yeah, 100%. This is where I double. Yoink. Oh, the one targeted is clone. Okay. Anyways, that's that. Shadow Azul, we don't really do anything unique. We just do damage. And that's it. And then last boss, we don't do anything unique. And it's hard to say, or it's hard to see because we pulled Reaping with this boss. But when the 60% phase comes, which is the hardest part for sure. Oh shit. I want to show you 60%. I guess I don't have any way on my UI to see like current DPS. It's just like total fight DPS. But Outlaw owns the 60% phase. And you can cloak one of the fears. So typically you're popping like your Lust or your DPS potion at the very least during this point. And it's really nice to be able to avoid one of the fears to get more uptime during it. Like I usually cloak the first one here. We have Tornado going out. We dodge that. Fears come in. I pre-cloak. You have to cloak before the fear cast finishes. And then you won't get feared. And then we're in there blasting. I'm pretty sure we get 2 total fears. J-Funk likely touch of deaths, and Flawless and I go in on this part. And the boy just dies. Quaking Leap. Let's see if I get one and do it. On this one I was playing kind of safe because with Feint, you take like no damage from the jumps if it's on you. If you just feint them, you take very little damage. But you can take even less damage by grappling mid, like what Jay just did with Serpent Kick, if you saw. You can do that with Dragon or with Grappling Hook. But I just played safe and feinted most of these, I think. So that I didn't accidentally grapple too early and bring the boss closer to the group. Because I knew I wasn't going to die. Like, there's no... Like, a rogue is never going to die from their own quake. Why? Jay gets fucking everything. It's like every mechanic this dungeon. And I eat a fucking tornado here. I'm a bad boy. I should health pot. Did I health pot? Yeah, I did. Good job. I didn't stone, but I didn't need the stone. Alright, let's see. I don't think I do... I just sprint out. Yeah. Like, see, I take no damage. But you can grapple in mid. So right as he's about to finish his cast, you grapple back to where you're coming from. And he'll jump to where you were. You'll start moving and you'll take less damage because you're further away. Because it's proximity based how much damage you take. And that's really it here for King's Rest. Like I said, this is more like a play good dungeon than a cheese dungeon. But there are some little things that Outlaw does. And obviously this is where like damage comes in. I'm trying to make the focus of these videos that ignoring damage, because damage can change whenever, and just looking at like what classes, well, not what classes, but like how Rogue and Outlaw Rogue utility makes many dungeons way easier. So thanks for watching, boys. I think tomorrow we will do I don't know. Maybe we'll do like Toll to Gore. I have footage from our 25 Toll to Gore yesterday, so maybe I'll do Toll. Which Toll is just like all rogues all day. So that'll be interesting to do. But anyways, thanks for watching, boys. I think the YouTube spiel is supposed to be like the video, subscribe to the channel, and send me money in the mail. I think those are the 3 things I'm supposed to ask for. Do all that, please. And check me out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/UndadTV. This is a really good push week, so we'll be playing a lot. And I will see you boys. Peace!